Rick Sanchez somehow got dropped into SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom for 24 hours, the real question isn't whether he would survive. It's whether Bikini Bottom would survive him.
Hi, strangers! Who wants a Krabby Patty?
Back off, Yellow Square. You're one musical number away from me nuking this.
Is this a spatula?
Rick! He's gonna break
Give me that starfish. You're 2 seconds away from turning this place into a black hole-themed Chuck E. Cheese.
At first glance, Rick would absolutely hate being there. Bikini Bottom operates on cartoon logic instead of real science. Physics barely works, nobody reacts normally to danger, and somehow a sponge and a starfish can survive explosions that would destroy entire planets in Rick's universe. For someone like Rick, whose entire identity is built around understanding and controlling science, that would immediately frustrate him. But here's the thing, Rick adapts ridiculously fast. The second he realized Bikini Bottom follows its own bizarre laws of reality, he'd probably start experimenting within minutes. Rick has dealt with alternate dimensions, dream worlds, sentient parasites, and universes where logic itself breaks down. Compared to that, a talking underwater city wouldn't actually shock him for long. The funniest part is that Bikini Bottom might accidentally become one of the few places Rick can't fully dominate. Normally, Rick survives because he's smarter than everyone around him. But in Bikini Bottom, intelligence doesn't always matter. Characters survive impossible situations through pure cartoon absurdity. SpongeBob SquarePants can casually regenerate from injuries, survive being flattened, exploded, burned, or ripped apart, then return perfectly fine seconds later. Rick's gadgets might not work the way he expects because Bikini Bottom reality bends around comedy instead of logic. That means Rick would spend most of the 24 hours increasingly annoyed that science keeps failing him. Imagine Rick building some advanced molecular destabilizer only for it to malfunction because Patrick accidentally sat on it while eating ice cream. Or Rick trying to threaten someone only for Patrick Star to completely misunderstand everything and somehow neutralize the danger without realizing it. Bikini Bottom's randomness could actually become Rick's biggest enemy. There's also the issue of water pressure. Rick is incredibly smart, so he'd definitely create tech to breathe underwater almost immediately. That part wouldn't be difficult for him. But surviving physically is different from surviving mentally. Bikini Bottom's nonstop chaos, noise, and stupidity would slowly drive Rick insane. And then there's SpongeBob himself. SpongeBob would absolutely love Rick. He'd follow him everywhere, asking questions, trying to help with inventions, and calling him Mr. Rick. At first, Rick would insult him constantly, but SpongeBob's optimism is weirdly unstoppable. No matter how rude Rick became, SpongeBob would probably still think they were best friends by the end of the day. Oddly enough, that's where things get interesting. Characters like SpongeBob sometimes unintentionally overpower darker characters simply by refusing to become cynical. Rick's entire worldview depends on believing nothing matters. SpongeBob believes everything matters. Krabby Patties matter. Friendship matters. Jellyfishing matters. In a weird psychological way, that kind of positivity could actually irritate Rick more than any villain. Now, if Rick decided to go full chaos mode, Bikini Bottom would definitely be in danger. He could probably create technology powerful enough to drain the ocean, weaponize plankton, or accidentally open portals that destabilize the entire city. But Bikini Bottom has survived ridiculous disasters before. The place runs on cartoon durability. Entire buildings explode and come back the next episode like nothing happened. So, could Rick survive 24 hours there? Absolutely. Would he enjoy it? Not even slightly. By the end of the day, Rick would probably be exhausted, confused, slightly traumatized, and furious that an underwater sponge somehow outlasted his patience. Meanwhile, SpongeBob would wave goodbye, thinking he just had the greatest day ever with his new science buddy.